We're on.
So it's Weed Hitler Day.
It is Weed/Hitler Day.
Weed/Hitler Day. Yeah.
We hadn't intended to do a Weed/Hitler Day special, and yet here we are.
Even though we did talk about that on like the last episode.
Yeah, we joked about
I'm pretty sure you
it.
suggested it.
We joked about doing it, and then we were like, "Nah, we won't do that." And then the universe
because
said,
it's not even. It's not even that funny. It's like
no,
just
it's
so
really
lame.
not.
It's like such a lame joke, you know. It's like sniggering when the
420.
teacher says 69 in class or something.
Yeah, or when they talk about penises in the biology textbook, and everyone's like,
yeah,
exactly.
it's but I mean, it is a funny coincidence.
The stars have aligned, and here we are. God said you will do a 420 podcast.
Yeah.
And now we find ourselves here. This is the June influence again. Everything's predetermined, man. It's the Kwisatz Haderach.
Is that what June's about? It's about determinism?
Well, not. It's what it is fundamentally about is like how saviors ruin civilizations. Basically, it's very interesting.
What does that mean?
Philosophical.
What
stuff
does savior
and
mean?
stuff. Well, I mean, in the book, obviously, he's like Jesus, effectively, and it all goes.
So it's
wrong.
like an anti-Jesus book.
Not necessarily anti-Jesus, more like, I guess you could view, if you want to take a really modern view, it's like anti-populism, maybe, you know, people promising all these things and kind of falling into the clutches of a belief that may not actually come to pass, or when it does actually come to pass, it's maybe not as good as people thought it was. I think saying it's anti-religion is kind of a bit of a basic take on it that I think kind of misses the point, but
yeah. I
find
think
that stuff a bit dull.
The only Dune media I've consumed is the David Lynch film, which is an awful film.
I'm not sure that's a great representation.
One of the worst films I've ever seen. The problem with it is it's not great anyway, but it's like watchable. And then like towards the end, there's like a massive part of the plot. Like I think it's like a whole war or something.
Yes.
And they just skim over it in like one sentence in a montage. And then they like really quickly just wrap the plot up, and it's like,
which is very faithful to the book. To be fair,
is it? I thought
it pretty much is. Yeah, the whole war until like the final battle is basically just they fought for months.
The story you hear is that it was meant to be a much longer film, and then the producers got their hands on it and did all the trimming and also just edited it badly. And that's supposedly why it's such a bad film. But
I mean,
I also feel like David Lynch
films.
is probably not the right director to make a film like Dune.
I can see why. I mean, it's a really odd series. There's a lot of like bizarre shit to it, but
him and sci-fi don't seem like they go.
Yeah, like sci-fi epic.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see. I mean,
Denis
Villeneuve has taken 5 hours to adapt the first book alone. So yeah, part 1 and 2.
Did you ever read the Foundation books?
No, but I have seen people recommending them as like the next one to read. So when I'm finished with Dune, I'll probably go on to those.
I don't know how good the books are or whatever, but like I think the guy who wrote them is like just so lame.
Okay. Maybe
he was like a member of Mensa, I think.
Oh, of course. He's a science fiction writer.
Do you know
the smartest people
do you know who else?
on Earth.
Do you know who else was a member of Mensa?
I don't.
Sir Jimmy Savile.
Excellent. Yeah, well, he's big brain. Look at all he got away with.
Actually, I watched that recently. I watched Top of the Pops. No, I watched no, I was watching the Louis Theroux thing where he basically spent like a few days with Jimmy Savile.
That is a bizarre fucking documentary.
Have you seen it?
Yes, absolutely. The two. Have you seen both of them, or just the first one?
Just the first one. Is it the second one's like a retrospective from like 2017?
Yeah, with like unreleased footage and stuff, and it's really creepy. It's really creepy.
Yeah. Well, the thing that it made me realize is a point that I've already made on this show anyway, but I think why not talk about it? Yeah. But it's like the story you hear about him is like he was this very manipulative, cunning, evil guy, very clever.
Yeah, no one knew. No one could have possibly
very
known.
Tricky.
Yeah.
He liked to describe himself as tricky. It's like, I'm a very tricky guy. But
that was a bit Borat. But
was it?
yeah.
But Yeah, I can't
Matt
really
Chad.
do like a, I can't really do like a Yorkshire accent, much less a Jimmy Savile impersonation. But like this idea is that he was like really cunning and manipulative, and he was that kind of like highly intelligent psychopath. But then I watched this thing and I thought like it's very obvious this is just like an insane person. You know, he's not cunning at all. He's like acting incredibly sketchy the whole way through the show. He's like he dodges every single question, and he's not good at dodging questions. Like he just seems like he's extremely nervous and like
he
doesn't
gives a
want to
really
talk
sus
about
answer
anything.
to everything. The second one is
even
is
like the most harmless question.
Yeah. The second one is the really enlightening one because they find there's one where they're in a cab together. I don't know if that might be in the first one, but he's like Louis Theroux's like, people say you're a paedophile, are you? And Jimmy's like, I don't know, am I?
Yeah,
and he gives
he's
this
like,
look.
well, how would they
why
know
don't you
that?
just say no?
He's like, how would they know that?
How would they know?
It's like
I love
like
kids.
Any normal person their immediate response would be no. That would be the first word.
Jesus Christ, why would you ask?
They'd be like, no, what the fuck? But his reaction is like, well, how would they know that? How would they know if I am or if I'm not?
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah. Who can
that's
tell?
a terrible answer. I just think
it's the answer a paedophile would give.
Yeah, people are like, oh, he never went to jail when he was alive. Like, why is that? And other people are like, because he like manipulated the establishment. It's like, no, it's because no one in the establishment cared. They all knew. Everyone in the BBC, I wager, knew exactly what was going on to varying extents.
There's no one,
and none of them did anything
hospitals
because it was like normal.
Yeah, there's no way that no one in Stoke Mandeville knew that Jimmy Savile had pumped this hospital with millions of pounds. And then it's like, why is Sir Jimmy popping down to the morgue for an hour and he comes up looking a bit out of breath?
Yeah, like all the time.
That? Yeah, like, what's he doing down there? Why is this little
Louis
girl...
Theroux said...
I won't finish.
I saw an interview with, like a clip from an interview with Louis Theroux, and he literally says, like, we'd heard rumors that the guy was a necrophile. So people knew about that. So literally everyone knew about it. I mean, he was just like molesting girls on top of the pops, like in front of the camera. Like there's footage of him doing that. So it's like the British public saw that. It's not like even everyone at the BBC knew. Like everyone in Britain, it seems, had some idea.
I mean, but
everyone just thought. Well. Yeah, but people thought that was cool back then. They were like, "Oh, he's a legend."
What a legend?
Because he's like,
he's getting loads of chicks. Meanwhile, the chicks are actually like 4 years old.
Yeah,
we've had a proper Jimmy Savile, retrospective on this podcast yet. I feel like that's a staple of British culture that we haven't glossed.
This is our way of owning Hitler, is because because we're anti-fascists. Yeah. So on the day of Hitler's birth, when we could spend the episode talking about him, we really just own him by talking about Jimmy Savile instead.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's an ethical thing to do.
I was about to start talking about June again. Jesus. It's really my head.
How about this? How about this for an idea?
Okay.
Since it is 420, why don't we come up with the best blunt rotation?
Okay. The ultimate, not the nightmare blunt rotation.
No, like dream blunt rotation.
Okay.
Now, like, I'm not necessarily because it would be nice, but it might be like interesting or whatever.
Enlightening, yeah. So I mean, I'm quite a paranoid smoker. It doesn't take me long to get a bit freaked out. So I want some chill people. Hitler being there would not be good because he'd start ranting and raving, and it would put me on.
I mean, he's easily the first person I would say.
For me, I'd be thinking, hang on, someone's going to see that I'm smoking with Hitler, and they're going to think I'm a Nazi. And then,
you're worried of getting cancelled. That's why
I'm not worried of getting cancelled, but I don't want my name dragged through the mud, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'd worry about that, and then I'd get really in my head about it. Even though normally I wouldn't care, I'd be like, "Yo, it's Hitler."
Yeah.
I've got some words to say to you, buddy.
Yeah, Mr. Hitler. Yeah,
Mr. Hitler, you've done some right nasty stuff.
What about Baby Hitler?
Baby Hitler. Yeah, he could. Yeah, he's
before
safe.
He's killed millions of people.
We could share the needle for real.
You could smoke with him.
He's chill as fuck. He's an innocent child, He doesn't
Yeah.
realise. And then maybe you'd set him on the path of good.
It's a funny
Okay, I guess.
hypothetical though. It's a funny thing people say though, is like, well, you know,
Would you kill baby Hitler? Yeah.
you wouldn't, if you went back in time and it was baby Hitler, you wouldn't kill him because you'd see him and he's just a baby, you know? And I think,
Yeah.
like, if I went back in time and I had a gun and there was baby Hitler, there's no way I wouldn't shoot that fucking baby.
Yeah, pull of the trigger and you save
I'm a
the world
utilitarian.
from the nightmares of the mid-20th
Yeah,
century.
easily do that. Easily.
That
you know?
is a completely nonsense argument. But what
Yeah,
if?
but-
What if? It's that thing, isn't it? You know, there's like all these bits that it's like, you know, a time traveler comes back and he's like, dude, I need to kill James Zod because in my timeline he grows up to kill 20,000 people because someone else went back in time and killed Hitler.
If a time traveler came back to me and was like, look, there's a baby alive right now, and if he grows up, he's gonna kill like 20 million people. He's gonna launch like the worst war ever in history and just destroy the continent you live on. I would be like, oh, that we should definitely go and kill that child.
What if that meant you're
That would be
in
my
prison?
immediate. I'd be no, because then I'd like be like, look, man, I had killed a baby for you. Like, can't you take me forward into your time? And then I will go forward to the time of history that this guy comes from. And who knows what the world would be like then? Maybe people will have changed their mind on Hitler.
This is where the monkey paw curls, and
then they're like, you shouldn't have gone back in time and killed Hitler.
Because someone even worse. Yeah, the monkey paw curls, and you can't go forward in time because now the war never happened, and no one invented time travel.
Yeah,
You know that's yeah. That's what I'd be interested in. I'd be like, yo, you fucking time traveled here? How the fuck did you do that?
yeah.
I'd want some proof, you know.
Well, okay, so number one, I say
Baby
Hitler.
Hitler.
You say you get a no vote on Hitler unless it's baby Hitler.
Yeah. It's like
and I
Mario
guess
Kart rules.
we shouldn't. I think 5 people is probably the right number. I don't know why I didn't
plus
establish
4?
the rules before. Sure, yeah.
So
That
you
makes
and I and 4 other people from history.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, so baby
So I've got
Hitler.
Hitler.
I've got baby Hitler.
Okay.
'Cause it'd
Well,
be
they can
funny.
kind of flicker between the two depending on who they're talking to. Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe
the
that's
time
possible.
paradox may be a bit freaky, but that's part of the fun.
Yeah.
So who else? So we've got Hitler. He's like a mad warlord. So we need someone to counter, like, to add a bit to spice that up.
The Prophet Muhammad.
Yeah,
I feel like he would.
yeah.
He would. I feel like he would be good to smoke with.
he'd definitely be rousing the Zaza for sure.
What the fuck did you just say?
I'm not even sure myself.
Razzing
way,
the Zaza.
Razzing the Zaza for sure. Alexa, play Dem Boy Pagan.
No,
Hart.
yeah, I think he would. I think that's a good choice.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so baby Hitler and the Prophet Muhammad.
Yeah.
I feel like we've got to get someone like Benjamin Netanyahu in there as well.
I don't know if I'd want to smoke with him.
Maybe he's chill when he's smoked up.
Also, you're just wasting the opportunity of getting a time machine if you just get someone who's around now.
That's true.
If that was going to happen, I would much rather choose Xi Jinping to smoke with.
Okay, well, we'll put Xi Jinping on, like, the possible list. He's like
That's
a backup.
separate list.
If we
that's
ring
a-
up and they're like, oh, Hitler can't come out right now.
It's like Xi Jinping, and we're like, guys,
Get
don't
Xi.
tell him who he's repling, because
Yeah. We don't mention who else could have been
optics.
here. And then he gets
Yeah,
in and we're
yeah.
like, oh, fuck, Hitler's not here? Mohammed's like,
Yeah.
yo, dude, Hitler's not here?
I just
Who
think
else?
Hitler would be funny stoned because he would really talk like a lot, and it would just get probably more insane. You know, it'd probably trigger some kind of psychotic episode. I'm just clearing the air. I think it would be entertaining,
Yeah. Do you know actually who
and
I'd
we can
really
kill him
like?
afterwards.
Do you know who I'd really like to
Who?
have on? Can you Google Robert Zadar for me? Z''DAR. And have a look at this guy. He was an actor in like the 80s and 90s. And I just think it would be unbelievable to have this man in front of you while you were smoking.
You would not want to see this guy stoned.
He's got such a massive chin, dude.
Yeah, he looks like something's wrong with him.
This is
That would be
so
too
interesting
weird.
to me. I can't take my eyes off it.
It's not real. It's not real, is it?
Yeah, this is chin.
That's crazy. I've never seen that before.
How crazy would that be?
What, to have that chin, or to
No,
see him when you're high?
To have him with you when you're smoking up. He'd be chill as fuck.
I don't know if he'd be chill. He seems kind of intense looking. I don't like the vibe of this guy.
Genetic disorder. Yeah, he played a lot of villains,
there you go.
think, in like the 80s and 90s. So
it's not natural in that sense.
It's not natural, no, but you know.
No.
That's part of the joy.
Well, okay. I'm gonna veto
we'll resolve
that.
him then. Okay, fine. No
Yeah.
Robert Zadar. He is an interesting guy though. You should look him up.
Yeah.
Our listeners should look up Robert Zadar just to experience this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else would I choose? Hong Zhuchuan.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And Jesus, probably. Those would be my other picks.
The classic. You've gone a very Chinese route with this, unsurprisingly.
There's one Chinese guy there.
Well, we've got
And he's
Xi
Christian.
Jinping as a backup.
Yeah, he's like a substitute though.
Do you think would he get along with Hong Zhuchuan? I'm not sure.
Who,
he
Xi
would.
Jinping?
Yeah.
I mean, ideologically, they're not that opposed because the Chinese Communist Party has described the Taiping Rebellion as like a proto-communist rebellion. But on a personal level, I think they're very different people because Xi
People
Jinping is
describe
like,
Christianity as like proto-communist or proto-socialist as well.
yeah, people just say that about anything. That sounds
Just
like
literally
being nice or whatever.
National
like,
socialism.
They just all emphasize equality to varying extents. But in the case of Hong Zhuchuan and Xi Jinping, Xi Jinping is a pragmatic, kind of organized, highly efficient, successful politician, whereas Xi Jinping is like literally a schizophrenic person from 19th century China who has repeatedly
mixed their
failed.
names up there, by the way, as well.
Did I?
You were like Xi Jinping is a schizophrenic from the 19th century.
Okay, I meant Hong Zhuchuan.
Yeah,
but he couldn't get in. He couldn't pass the civil service exam, whereas Xi Jinping has been like a state's bureaucrat for pretty much his entire career.
I don't think we
Has
should
a
have
doctorate.
Xi Jinping in the smoke sesh. He wouldn't want to smoke weed. He'd just be smoking gnarly Chinese cigarettes
You'd
the
just
whole
be
time.
talking about policy, probably.
Yeah, and emphasizing the glories of China over the Western world.
He's almost kind of neoliberal in terms of how boring he is, I guess.
We need a neutral spot for all of this as well. We've got some quite divisive figures here, so we'd need a neutral place on Earth to smoke.
Yeah,
couldn't have
where
it
would
in
that probably
China
Switzerland?
Yeah.
Switzerland. It'd have
Switzerland's
to
too
be in
westernized,
Switzerland.
though. It's too west. It'd have to go somewhere crazy.
Pakistan.
Yeah,
That would be
fuck
sick.
it. Yeah,
smoking
Why not?
smoking with Hitler. Who was the other one? Who was the second one we named?
I can't even remember. Mohammed.
Hitler, the Prophet Muhammad, Hong Zhuchuan, and Jesus of Nazareth. Smoking with them
Yeah.
in Pakistan, in Islamabad,
in Islamabad,
and no one knows this is happening because they're busy talking about the peace talks between America and Iran.
Yeah, and we're just sat in some den
just-
in a cave somewhere.
Yeah. And these guys,
chilling
they
out.
would probably all try and fucking kill each other. It would probably be an absolute bloodbath.
They'd start trying to kill each other, and you'd be like, "Hey, man, smoke
I
some of
wouldn't.
this." Well,
I'm not
maybe
like
you would.
Cheech.
But yeah, maybe not.
I've
Okay,
never-
well, so you just let them kill themselves. You wouldn't even offer them the smoke. You'd just be sat smoking it yourself, being like,
Well,
"Holy
no,
shit, what is going on here?"
They would probably smoke it with me first, and then I think they would start arguing, and then it would get heated up, and then it would kind of spiral. I don't think they'd immediately try killing each other, You know
Unless
Hitler
we
thought
got
that,
like some
East
nasty
Asians...
back that would just like completely fuck them up.
Yeah, some crack.
Some,
know,
some crack.
Hitler thought that East Asians were like an example of like convergent evolution, where they were like white people, but they'd evolved independently of the Aryan
White
race.
people. That sounds
Yeah,
like
how
something Hitler would
fucking
come up with
stupid
just
is
to appeal to the Japanese minister after he said that
No,
the Japanese were subhuman, and the Japanese minister was
it,
like, "We're your allies, dude."
it was actually a long-running belief in his life because
Oh.
he was very happy in 1905 when the Japanese defeated the Russian Empire in the Russo-Japanese War. Because the Japanese, it was a big surprise. They absolutely wasted the Russians, and no one was really expecting that. And Hitler, as a German, who despised Slavs. He was like very excited by that.
See,
And that was
Hitler's
back
a
when he was
man
living
who's-
in Vienna.
His philosophy was entirely built around things occurring. He was like completely reactionary.
Look, he knew what he believed in. Okay,
It wasn't that he thought the Japanese were like, almost Ubermensch, but the Japanese happened to win a war, and he was like, maybe these guys are all right.
Yeah.
There was no prescience to it.
It's just funny how he talks about races in the same way that like people talk about crabs, being like convergent, having convergently evolved on like 3 occasions in
That,
paleontology.
Old school mad social Darwinism is just completely cracked.
It's really stupid because it's just like not based on anything. It's not like studying a genome and like it's just like, oh, these guys look kind of funny, but they look more like white people.
Listen, guys, I measured this Asian guy's head, and he is clearly subhuman. It's like that.
Yeah,
it's
just making up whatever the fuck you want to believe.
Fits your exactly. We're talking too much about Hitler.
Well, it's 420.
Yeah, but we're
that's why we're doing this, isn't it?
This is our woke episode. We're completely owning Hitler.
This is dark woke.
This is dark woke. Sorry. This is dirtbag.
I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what... Is that what dark woke is? I thought it was like a right-wing version of woke, where they're like Nazis.
Saying I'm dark... I was
that
going to
lasted
say...
like 2 months.
Saying you're dark woke is like saying you believe in social Darwinism. I'm woke to stupid shit.
It's really funny how like there was that like...
Shit.
There was like an effort like where around the same time Trump won his second election that he won. When like people were talking about like how dark woke is going to be like
the next
we've had 10 years of woke, now we're going to have 10 years of dark woke, and then it lasted like a month, and then Kanye did the Heil Hitler song, and then it was just like,
and Elon Musk threw his heart out to the crowd.
Yeah, but like it just revealed how kind of embarrassing it all is, I guess. Yeah. It was like, I mean, the woke thing was embarrassing, I'm sure, for a lot of the people who were like actively engaged in that stuff in 2015 and probably look back on it as people who just follow trends from a more like, post-dark woke perspective.
As a post-dark wokist.
Yeah.
They should have called it something called like evil woke.
Yeah, I think it just took longer for it just took a bit longer for the woke thing to get boring because it was a new type of phenomenon. But then the second time round, it was like, oh, we've already seen this happen. It will get really annoying in a couple of years, and people just got bored of it way more quickly. I mean, the algorithm's so much quicker now than it ever used to be. So it's like everything's just a dumb fad. I mean, all the really pro MAGA people turning on Trump now. So it's like,
well, it's because he's starting wars.
It's not that far into his presidency this time around. It's like...
Well, he's only got, he's got 2 years left now, right?
Yeah, but it's not like... Yeah, this is the kind of shit you'd expect when it's, like, at the end. Maybe he's dying or something, and it's making him go fucking crazy.
Well, he's been fucking crazy, and that's why people are turning against him. And also, all of his cabinet, they're just complete sycophants. There's no...
But if you look at his Truth Social posts and like when he's posting them, and then you coordinate that information with information on like what he was doing during the day, you'll see that he basically just isn't sleeping. And it is pretty certain that he is the one actually typing up the Truth Social posts.
Undoubtedly.
So like he's just not sleeping.
What, 80? Just under 80? He's like 78?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. He should be getting
I think he was born...
Man. No, born 1947, I think. We literally
47,
had this discussion.
Yeah. No, it's 47.
2 weeks ago. He's 79. 1946.
I heard a guy on the train. I had a guy on the train like yesterday saying to his friend, they were both clearly quite drunk. He was like, "You don't like Donald Trump now anymore?" And the guy was like, "No, I don't. I think he's fucking nuts." And then it was like, oh, but you were like his biggest fan or whatever. And he was like, not anymore, mate. And it's like, these guys were like older than me. These guys were like in their late 30s probably.
Yeah.
Could you imagine as an adult like seeing Donald Trump and being like, yeah, this guy should be in charge, and then being like, oh my god, I can't believe this guy scammed me. This guy
I can't believe this guy's actually a lunatic.
Like the slimiest looking guy ever. I can't believe he scammed me. It's like the same people who are like, I couldn't believe Jimmy Savile was a pedophile.
It's exactly the same mentality.
It literally is. It's like, you know, it's like right there. Like you're staring right at it. You know, I think the only valid position to support Trump based on is this position of like, well, I know he's a scammer and it's funny, and that's why I like him, and that's why I voted for him. I can forgive. It's like when older British people say, like, I voted for Boris because like he was funny.
Yeah,
you know, it's like I'm not even mad at you because you just wanted more joy in your life, right? You just wanted humor.
I voted for Brexit because it annoyed people.
It was the epic moment.
Yeah, epic meme. Well, I if I could have, I would have, because Elon Musk said it was the right thing to do, and I have to lick Elon Musk's boots. So
I mean, that's the worst reason to hold these kinds of beliefs. It's because like
because Elon Musk
you admire
says so.
Elon Musk. It's like just so lame to be like, I admire Elon Musk. Like no one in the 80s was saying I admire Bill Gates. You know.
No.
People were saying this guy's a fucking nerd. You know, yeah, he might be rich, but it's funny because he's such a nerd.
Whereas Elon Musk is just lame.
Yeah, but they're both in the Epstein files.
Connection? Coincidence?
Yeah.
I think not.
Yeah. Although Elon's only like... He doesn't appear
Elon's
to
only
actually
mentioned
gone
in the
there.
lamest way possible, where he's like, please
He's like asking for upvotes from...
Let
Jeffrey
epic
Epstein.
party at my house.
I know, what's her
You
name?
think I am retarded?
What was Jeffrey Epstein's lady called?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
He's like, oh, I heard Ghislaine is like a super powerful mod on the old Reddit. So
on r/kiddie fiddlers.
I was hoping I could get some. You could spare me some upvotes, dear.
Spare me some karma,
milady. Talking to Ghislaine Maxwell.
Thanks for the gold, kind Ghislaine.
Thank you. Yeah. Kind stranger, kind internet stranger.
Kind internet stranger, you've blessed me on this day with your Reddit gold.
You know, the funniest shit I've seen recently is on any cat-related subreddit, if someone has like an issue with that related to their cat going outside, e.g., my cat doesn't like the neighbor's cat. Which is how I found out about this, because that's a problem I have at the moment, because the cat really hates the neighbor's cat for no reason. But if you go on the subreddits, they're just full of American cat owners, and like their response is like every single time they say like
shoot it
in the most judgmental, passive aggressive tone, they say like, why are you letting your cat outside? As if that's like a horrible thing to do. Like that's their perspective. Is like letting your cat outside is like cruel to the cat.
I really hate that mentality. This indoor cat shit drives me up.
It's weird because I looked it up in America. That's like 90% of cat owners. They keep their cats indoors.
Americans are horribly cruel to animals, though. I just expect
well, also
that.
like you can't like be on Reddit judging people for letting their cats outside when you literally belong to the country that is like completely like wasting the Middle East right now.
Yeah,
you know, like you can't be like you people are disgusting because you let your cat go outside, and then like at the same time your president is like a pedophile in the Epstein files who's like, you know, just like dragging his country into a fucking war that none of his voter base even wanted or support.
Hashtag not my president. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger.
It's like yeah, you might be a nice person and you might care about animals, even if the way you're doing that is like fucking backward and like the opposite of what like you would think if you understood what animals were. But like you can't. It's just such a ridiculous place to be saying that from. is the United States of America, you know.
And that's the place where they like clip dogs' tails and declaw cats.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I don't declaw my cat. I just put these gay fucking plastic nubs on my cat.
I've seen
claws.
those. There's no way cats like having those things on their claws.
Imagine having to wear things over your fingertips like all the time. It would drive you up the wall.
Especially when you like walk on, like, you know, like they'll make you slide around because you're walking on all fours, you know.
Yeah,
and you need
and
your
you use them
fingertips
to
be
grip and like climb things. Do what cats do.
If you don't like getting scratched, you shouldn't get a cat. At the end of the day,
yeah.
Part of the joy of having a
give you
cat is
nibble
getting
and they
scratched by.
Yeah, you know, it's how they show their love.
The other day, I was at my girlfriend's family's house, and we were there with the cat, their family cat, and I was wearing a t-shirt, so my arm was out. And at one point, the cat just got up, walked to the edge of the sofa that I was on, and then just sunk his teeth into my arm, completely unprovoked. I wasn't stroking him or playing with him or anything. He just walked up to me and did that.
That's so funny.
And I thought, like, that is so cool that there's this like animal that probably just wants to eat me right now, and he's just annoyed that he can't because I'm so much bigger than him. Yeah, because he just would love to just kill me and eat me.
It's just all that meat, you know. He wants a bit of that food. And I mean, the reason is because Americans are stupid and all they'll do is like piss the cat off. And then they'll be like, why is my cat scratching me? Why isn't it just a
Well, it's because they don't let it outside.
It's because the cat's going psycho.
It's fucking bored.
I really hate that my cat's an indoor cat. No, it fucking isn't. Unless your cat has feline AIDS.
No.
Or like some disease.
It's just scared of the outside.
It's because because you've brought it up to be retarded.
Yeah, if you kept someone in a prison their whole life, they're not going to like function well in the outside world. And this is why we need to find a different way to tackling crime.
People are keeping cats in Plato's cave and then expecting them to react well when they're allowed outside. And
this is why the cats aren't true idealists.
Yeah. The cats don't realise the platonic form of the outside of the neighbour's cat. They only see the shadow of the neighbour's cat they hiss at.
Yeah, and want to eat. Yeah, along with everyone else, including its own owners. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm trying to think.
Have we got any get some AI
we need to figure out. I'm just
going
to pull them up right now.
Exactly.
I need to know what to call it. The last title didn't really do that well. Not entirely surprised.
Fucking YouTube AI algorithm.
Yeah, I thought you were going to help me out, but I think if we go...
Why can't we just do nothing and let that do all the work for us?
I think if we just shorten it a bit if needs be. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they all sound the same, man. The architecture of control, smart cities, and the death of local sovereignty. They love going on about sovereignty.
Sovereignty every time. We can't have that one. What's the next one?
Yeah. Algorithmic predestination. How Silicon Valley replaces the concept of free will. That is dumb.
That's so stupid.
Neo-feudalism and the subscription economy. Owning nothing in a digital serfdom.
We definitely had that last week. They love neo-feudalism and digital feudalism and all this stuff. It's probably because that's what we talk about a lot.
Yeah. Here's one. Synthetic spirituality. The rise of AI deities in a post-religious West.
What I think we should do is remix the best title about what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So, like...
The weaponization of loneliness.
The weaponization of cats. And Hitler's rise to... I don't know, so, that kind of thing.
I feel like putting Hitler in the title probably
maybe not. Maybe we don't mention Hitler. We'll do Jimmy Savile instead.
Do you know, I had an idea for...
Muad'Dib.
I had an idea about like a planet where it's all flat, like the land is flat.
Right.
and all the animals have wheels instead of legs.
That's really great. Yeah, that's a really great idea. would we?
This is science.
Okay. Yeah. So
Well, no,
everything
it's not
has
actually
wheels.
science, it's literature, really. Because my idea was, then what about a story where all the disabled humans of planet Earth who use wheelchairs colonize this planet of
Wow.
wheeled animals
I thought you were going to
and
say all the
wipe them out?
disabled people on this planet were just people who could walk.
Now that's actually a lot funnier.
They were
That's
just
very
like normal
interesting.
people.
But it's like it's so hard to walk because of how flat the ground is.
It's just really uncomfortable.
Yeah,
And
it's
they
like
have to
so
get in
flat,
wheelchairs.
It just
'cause
fucks
they
up your
don't have
cartilage.
wheels. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's not that anyone's in wheelchairs. It's like most of the animals have wheels. So I guess the disabled people would just have broken wheels, but that's not really as funny.
Well, it's like a genetic. Well, because it's not that everyone's in wheelchairs. That they instead of feet, they're like always on. What are they called? Like those electric unicycles, like swagways. Whatever they're called,
Monocycles.
like
Oh,
monocycles.
segways. Oh,
Yeah.
so like tiny wheels that spin really quickly.
Yeah, like really small wheels. You know
And
the
they have,
ones
like,
you
the
see,
same
hoverboards,
silhouette.
That's what they're called.
Yeah, right. And they have the same silhouette as like a guy on a Segway, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And so
Just
there are
without
people
the
with birth
handles.
defects where they don't have the wheels; they've just got feet,
Yeah.
and then they need wheelchairs as well to be able to move like everyone else.
Yeah. Could you imagine what their wars would be like?
Very mechanized. Do you need like
No, they wouldn't.
mechanized
They-
infantry? I
If
guess
they
you
can go,
wouldn't.
okay, what speed can these people go at?
Are we being realistic or are we just fucking around?
Yeah, let's be realistic.
Well, let's say they can go, I don't know, like 10 miles an hour.
That's pretty fast,
It's pretty fast, yeah.
but they do live on a flat planet.
They live on a perfectly flat planet. They have wheels, so they don't need to
Yeah.
be moving their legs. There's just like a little like biological motor driving this wheel.
But also, I'm thinking about like how their tactics would be shaped by the fact that they're always fighting in a constantly flat landscape. You know,
I feel
I
like
feel like
the
that would make the
development of
warfare a lot more
gunpowder would
brutal.
be a bit of a downside to people's life.
yeah.
expectancy.
The way you win a war is by just shelling a trench into existence that they all kind of cycle
It's
down.
like anti-tank ditches.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like it's
For
basically
people-
all cavalry, isn't it?
Yeah, essentially. Well, that would be a centaur planet, I guess.
Yeah, but people move just as quickly. It's like helicopters or something. It's all flat land, and everyone moves really quick.
Mm-hmm.
What would they have instead
Well-
of like foot infantry? If everyone's got wheels, maybe people kneeling
Wheel
down.
infantry.
Wheel infantry.
Wheel infantry.
Yeah.
Well, they just have people standing still. I don't know.
Yeah. I get. Wow. Think about. God, it's like the modern day Clausewitz here. This is insane.
Yeah,
Imagine
yeah.
if people could had wheels.
These
Like
are the kind of
cars.
hypotheticals that are very useful for research purposes, you know, because it's about thinking outside the box.
Some
Right.
Japanese guy thought of this and was like, "Fuck! All our infantry should have bicycles."
Yeah.
They were like,
They
"Imagine
did use
if,
a lot of bikes.
if China was completely flat and all of our men had wheels instead of feet." And then another guy was like, "Dude, that's just bikes."
It's crazy how long it took people to invent bikes, don't you think?
Yeah, yeah. I guess yeah, it is pretty. Yeah, that is.
They were riding horses. Right? Surely it's like literally less effort to make a bike than to domesticate horses and ride them around.
I feel as though like a chain and pedal system is quite an advanced bit of manufacturing.
Is it though? They made things like the astrolabe, which could be used to accurately like predict the movements of like stars.
I guess I was thinking like, why did the penny farthing come first? But I guess you pedal the giant wheel. Like that's your torque. You don't have gear
Yeah,
systems.
but it's because they looked fucking stupid, and back then people would know like
People love looking
You know.
stupid.
yeah, they just loved looking like fucking idiots all the time
When was the bicycle?
because that was
invented?
their idea of being cool. Probably in France in the 18th century, and it was used by Jesuit priests or something like that.
So the first bike was the dandy horse.
That is such a gay name for it.
Guess where it was invented?
France.
Close. It was Germany.
Germany. Ah.
Originally called the Laufsmaschine, the running machine.
It's not for running. They are really
Well,
bad
it
at
was.
naming inventions,
You
aren't they?
ran on it.
I guess so, yeah.
Holy shit! This image is amazing.
No, I gotta see this, actually.
I've put it in the channel. I don't know if you want to describe
What?
what is going on there.
It's not just the design, which is obviously stupid.
It's so
Yeah, so
interesting.
there's no... Okay, so for this thing, there's no gears. It's just... There's no pedals, either. You're just running with wheels.
Yeah.
This design looks like it would make you infertile.
Look at that guy on the
like,
top. That is the twinkiest dude they could have used as a model.
He looks infertile. He also looks extremely inbred, and his physique does not match like the shape and size of his head. It's
He almost
incredibly
looks like a
strange.
fish.
What is up with the colors as well? Like, why is everything like McDonald's color?
Yeah, it's all bright yellow with red stripes.
This is
he's
the dumbest
matching
vehicle I've
with
ever
his
seen.
own bike too. The saddle
Yeah.
of the bike is red, and so are his stripes. He's also got a
This is
twee little
genuinely-
hat on.
Yeah, this is genuinely one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
And now, obviously, that's only used for kids. It's like a
Yeah,
kid's push
yeah,
bike.
it's like those. That's so funny that there were people in Germany riding those around. And like nowhere else. You could back then you'd go to Germany and like you just see these people looking like this going around. And then if someone told you like in about 130 years time this country is going to nearly destroy the entire world and kill everyone, you'd be like, okay, yeah, that's not that surprising. These people are fucked. They're absolutely bizarre.
the
What is
first
that?
then mechanically powered bikes were built by the French in the
Now
1860s.
that seems more French.
There's some pictures of,
And this-
of some early designs there.
The woman looks funny at the bottom, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's basically in like a standing up wheelchair, effectively.
Yeah. She looks like a boss from like Silent Hill.
Or a Metal Gear one.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's basically stood astride two enormous wheels with her feet on some kind
but
of crankshaft, by the looks of it. It's
The
got,
one we were looking at before is in this picture as well, number 11. Reizmaschine nach Freiheit von Dice.
yeah, the push bike. That is the exact same one, isn't it?
And it's still the dumbest looking one.
And then the penny farthing's on there. A few different variants of a penny farthing. The Humber tricycle. Now that's a gentleman's machine.
Which one's that? Oh yeah.
The
That's
top right.
These are so stupid.
And then number 12 is just a modern bike.
Yeah, like there's really no other design that you need, is there? Like none of the why is that not like just the only one being advertised here?
So yeah, the French then put the mechanical crank drive onto it, and that was basically the first modern. And then the Scottish and the English sort of perfected it. The Coventry cycle, the classic. So yeah.
Wow, there you go, folks. There's some
Interesting.
history on the development of the bicycle, including some discussion we had of some pictures which you can't see.
Yeah, I was trying to
there
describe
you go.
them for our visually impaired listeners.
I would say to the listeners, please do look up this German one, the Reizmaschine or whatever it's called, because that picture is funny as shit. That's a very weird picture.
What do you think about tandem bikes? They've always seemed a bit odd to me.
Yeah, it seems like something that Mormons would do or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like
It's a very
off.
old, like a really archaic thing.
Don't Amish people use them actually? Or am I
Probably.
imagining
I guess it's
that?
a good way to get a few people around if you don't have a car.
Which is the kind of shit you do if you're like an extremely backward American, you know?
Can you build me this, but longer?
Yeah, well, it's just like, I don't know, it just looks, no one would want to do that now, because like in advanced neoliberal society, we live atomistic existences. We want to be on our own bikes.
Yeah, I don't
You know?
really. I mean, there's kind of like it feels a bit Reddit to think that like you'd go on a like not a 3-person tandem, but like a 2-person tandem bike with your partner or something.
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
I'd rather just have my own bike. That seems cooler.
Well,
know?
what you want to do, you want to be able to cycle faster and then like get ahead of her and then act really dismissive when she's
Really
like, "Why
aloof.
did you ditch me?" And be like, "Well, why are you so bad at cycling?" Like
As you
that
sit on
Austrian
a
guy.
cross section smoking a cigarette. And
Did
she
you see that Austrian
finally
guy who went
catches
in
you
the
up.
news? There was an
No.
Austrian guy who went in the news because he abandoned his girlfriend on the top of like
Oh
a
yeah, and she
big
died.
mountain, and she fucking died. And it was like the second time he'd done that. He'd done that to another woman, and she actually managed to survive. But like,
Lucky lady.
it's so funny. He got mad at her for like getting out of breath, and then was like, "Fuck this," and then walked ahead, and she died. And then he goes on trial, and the judge literally says like, "I know that you're a really good hiker," and it's like, and you just like get off. Like he didn't go to jail, I don't think.
Really? No, surely not.
If he did, he went for like a very short sentence.
That's insane.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's basically
Pretty funny though.
Whoa, there's one here of a firefighting bicycle.
That's really.
This looks like it's going to break your nuts. It's basically like a normal bike. It's got good suspension on it. This looks French. And in the middle is like a roll of hose. Sort of, you straddle a roll of hose.
I don't like this vibe that this thing has. It reminds me of like Fireman Sam or something, you know? I don't like that
Yeah.
vibe.
And there's also the recumbent bicycle, which is the one you sort of lean. Your legs are in front of your.
Oh, yeah,
arms.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit look at me, isn't it?
All of these things are. Oh. Well, how are we doing for time? 55 minutes?
Yeah.
Actually, it's probably not been as long as that.
No, we're about 47 minutes. That's okay.
Oh, it's my first day of having a job, so I'm pretty knocked out today. So I've probably not been very good podcast host today.
No, I think you've been good. I mean, are there any other points we want to talk about?
Well, I was just going to say to finish off the point I was making earlier with reference to the wheeled people planet.
Yes, before we got so sidetracked by the development of bicycles.
My idea was, that the disabled humans from Earth annihilate those people and take their planet because they're like, it's so flat. This is like the most accessible planet.
Yeah.
This is literally the most wheelchair accessible place in the universe.
Yeah.
And that was my idea for a plot for a trilogy of novels, which is interesting because you brought up Dune earlier, and it's funny that I would be thinking of my own kind of epic science fiction. Yeah, and I was thinking it would be called The Wheel of Conquest.
Wow. I like that.
So I'd like the readers to, the listeners to...
They will be readers when they're published.
Yeah. To, say how they feel about that idea and let me know if that's worth pursuing as a project, because I know I've had my first day of having a job today, but I'm willing to just quit right away if I have some kind of...
to write this epic...
To retire, to retreat to the country, which is like the park near me, and live a wilderness existence, i.e. be homeless in the park, and write my sci-fi epic, The Wheel of Conquest.
And it'll be called The Wheel Saga. The Wheel of Conquest is book 1, and then it's called, like, I don't know, Ramp. Off-Ramp.
Yeah, Off-Ramp. Operation Off-Ramp. That's like their D-Day on the planet.
Yeah. And then the third one...
But it's more like Okinawa, because the wheel people, like, their entire style of warfare is just bayonet charges, because they're basically, like, they're so quick, so much quicker than us.
Yeah. And the people on the wheelchairs, that's the kind of underdog thing. Because they're humans, so we naturally, like, want them to win. And they're the underdogs, because they are... But they're all fucking jacked, because they're pushing their wheelchairs.
Yeah.
So it's just these jacked people in wheelchairs.
And the point is, people who are actually good people are capable during wartime of doing horrific, completely illegal things.
That's the moral.
that aren't at all sanctioned by international law.
Holy shit. This sounds amazing.
The point of the story is, war is war. And in war, like, literally anything goes. Like,
and it starts, it's like this guy who's been beaten down on Earth, he can't get around, he's beaten by stairs.
And then he goes to this island on a mission, and it's like finally a place where I can be the bully, you know.
And he
then
just fucks people up.
yeah, they just absolutely like these whale people. They're not very smart, you know, because their life is too easy.
They already
like,
had the wheel. They didn't have to invent it.
Well, they can get around so quickly. There's really no resource scarcity, you know.
Right.
They
Okay.
can eat, you know, and there's no sea or anything on the planet. It's just like a perfectly, you know, smooth.
Just a flat landmass.
Yeah.
The mines are run by people just putting their feet into like a winch and just powering all the winches and things. It's all automated.
Yeah.
Wow, this is beautiful. This is amazing.
The way the plot reveals itself is you have these moments where like one of the humans is committing something horrible, you know, like bayoneting a child.
Yeah.
Or
some wheel
freak. Experimenting on humans or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
Or on the enemy, I mean, who are sentient and whatever.
Yeah, they're not humans. They're just they look like us, but they're not us.
Yeah, but the point is they're as intelligent as us. And you see these wheelchair humans doing that, but then you get a flashback to how hard their life was when they were living back on Earth, and it makes you realize, you know, it's like when people at school would get bullied, you know, and they'd go home and they'd tell their parents, and the parent would be like, well, you know, I bet that boy has a really tough life. His parents got divorced recently, so be patient with him, you know. And I guess the problem with that is reconciling that with the fact that by the end of the third and final book in the trilogy, you know, they've run out of time to really pursue that strategy of like, you know, of being nice and like turning the other cheek, as it were, because by that point they've been completely exterminated.
So it's a sort of pro-bully.
It keeps switching.
Sci-fi epic.
You can't tell. You can't. No, but like
you just don't know what the book's about. You finish it and you're like, what the fuck was that? What did I just read?
It acknowledges, like, you know, the fact that bullies have reasons. Like, it's literally not at all their fault, because, you know, no one would do anything wrong unless they were a victim of something else, you know, like Michael Jackson, right? He had a bad childhood.
Right, exactly.
You know, it's the same thing. Yeah. It acknowledges that, but then it acknowledges also the element of tragedy where you're not just talking about bullying, you're projecting that onto a situation where actually an entire planet of people are being annihilated.
Well, there's definitely something to that.
So there's a lot of layers. That. It's very complicated. You know,
it does it's very moral, morally grey.
The Wheel of Conquest.
The Wheel of Conquest. I really like that.
But though, do you know how it really ends? The epilogue.
Right.
So, you know, the whale people have been completely wiped out, and the disabled humans have taken over their planet. Yeah. And they're like, well, you know, it was horrible, it was dark, but we got to move on now. We got a bright future ahead of us. We found the perfect planet. And then almost immediately the non-disabled humans from Earth rock up and just completely wipe them out and take
That's
the planet.
Exactly what I was hoping you were going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just come around and build loads of stairs. They don't wipe out the disabled humans, they just start building like non-wheelchair accessible infrastructure everywhere.
And then there's a second epilogue, which is even further in the future, where over millions of years of living on this perfectly flat planet, the descendants of those humans who conquered the planet from the wheelchair humans who conquered the planet from the wheelchair people. I mean, just the whale people. The descendants of the humans, the able-bodied humans, have evolved to just have wheels.
Okay, yeah. Yes, that's actually perfect.
Yeah, and it comes full circle. And then
the wheel continues.
You know, it's like Mulholland Drive, because it just goes back, you know, it just keeps happening. And that's Samsara, you know, so it's kind of Indian.
Oh, I love it, yeah. Wow, that's sick. I really like that. Well, I think that's a perfect place to wrap this up.
Yeah.
So you know, let us know if you liked that, audience. If you want to hear more.
Do you have any opinions about any of the topics we discussed? Oh shit! What are we going to call this episode? None of these AI titles are hitting this week, really. Are they?
Call it the Wheel of Conquest.
The Wheel of Conquest. Yeah, you know what? I will call it that. Who gives a fuck?
Who gives?
And I can't be bothered to think of something.
We do this for us.
The Wheel of Conquest. All right. Well, give us a like and a subscribe, or your mother will die in her sleep tonight.
As always.
As
Update's
ever.
gonna die.
Other than that, have a nice week. Happy 420, and we'll see you at the weekend, I think. So,
See you
amen.
next time. Amen.